Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. Did you forget about me? Probably, and I don't blame you. Life has been crazy. Obviously I moved, if you can't tell. My boyfriend and I moved out of our apartment and we moved into the bottom level of a house in downtown Charleston. It's literally what dreams are made of. Like, you know when you're in like middle school or high school and they're like, where do you see yourself in like 10 years? I would have never imagined this to be my life. I've been really reminiscing on it lately because like this house is so cute and I just can't believe I live here. Anyways, so yeah, we moved. This is my boyfriend's office because he works from home, and I was like, I'm putting my bookshelf in there because the lighting is supreme. And in our apartment, I couldn't like find a place to put my bookshelf so that the lighting was good, you know? So I saw this room and I was like, hey. It also might be echoey because there's literally nothing else in here. But I was very eager to film and show you guys the setup. It's pretty great. And to chat with you guys and check in and say that I'm sorry I was gone for so long. Here we are. So yeah, I moved, which is always stressful. I also got into a graduate program at College of Charleston, so I will literally be back to school in like 5 days. Pray for me. No, I'm actually really excited. I just haven't been in school for almost 3 years, so it's a little bit intimidating. Like I literally feel like a little kid again, like nervous for back to school. Like the past 3 years, I've just like seen people go back to school and I'm like, sucker. Like that would never be me. And now it's me, but I'm excited. That's been my life. Went to Disney for the first time, y'all. That was so much fun. But with all of these changes, I haven't really been reading. You know, I could sit here and keep making excuses, but I just simply didn't really feel like it. Since my last video where I read Malibu Rising, I think I've only read like 8 books, which is not very many, not up to par. Like I thought of 2021, like I thought I was gonna be able to read like 100 books. I was like, oh yeah, I'm at 52 and I think my goal of 60 is more adequate because I don't think I could do 100 at this point. I thought I would talk about a few of the books that I've read. Also, sorry it's getting dark out, okay? I did procrastinate filming this video, so it's a little bit dark, but here we go. I don't know, I just wanted to talk about some of the books I read recently, some of the noteworthy books, either ones I loved or like popular ones that I finally read and I want to give my opinion on. So let's get started. Oh my, this chair is so squeaky. Oh my god. Can y'all tell I haven't filmed in a while? I'm literally breaking everything. Okay, so the first, and it also spins. So the first book I read after Malibu Rising was Educated by Tara Westover. Finally, right? Seeing as my favorite book of all time is The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls, I was scared to read this because they are similar. They're both memoirs written by women who had very different childhoods growing up. I frankly don't want to compare the two, but I can't help but compare the two, you know? We follow Tara. She writes about her life growing up in kind of a really extreme Mormon family. You know, doomsday preppers. Her and her siblings go and help her father work at like a really dangerous scrapyard. It's insane. They don't have formal education. They don't go see a doctor. Like they try and stay off the grid as much as possible. And it was a crazy ride of a read. It was really good. I think she is so admirable. Like I think she's so strong in the way that she was able to like take a step back and like look at her childhood and like why she was raised that way and like humanize these people in her life that like were actually really evil. I think is just really admirable, but it just didn't give me the same feeling that The Glass Castle did. Maybe because I read that when I was in 8th grade literally, and so it's like very nostalgic for me, but this book just, I still gave it 4 stars. I still think it was amazing and I still think it is a memoir worth your time. But one thing I didn't like, which I mean, I can't really blame her for writing about it, but it was like the physical, almost torture that she went through growing up, like all of her injuries and stuff. Like the amount of times that she talks about like bone cracking and like skin melting, it's just not for me. It literally made me want to vomit at points. And I don't know if like that wouldn't be included if I would like this book more, but it was just a lot. Like if you're squeamish, there are some scenes where it is really crazy. Hey. Oh, that's nice. Why is it crooked though? Oh, the house is very slanted, so that would make sense. Educated. Finally read it. 4 stars. Pretty great. What do I want to talk about next? This feels so odd. Ooh. The People We Keep by Alison Larkin. Really random, picked it up on a whim from Book of the Month. 5 stars, y'all. The way that this book makes me feel, it just brings me back. We follow 16-year-old April, who has a really shitty family life, lives with her dad in a motorhome in New York, is really unhappy, decides to run away and kind of go on this road trip. So I thought it'd be focused on a road trip, but it's really not. It's focused on just like the few places that she ends up and the relationships and friendships that she forms. And it is such a great, great coming of age story and like growing up story. And it's like a comforting novel. You know, it just like makes you feel good. Like, of course it's hard and there are hard lessons that she has to learn, but overall, like when I think of this book, I just think of how like heartwarming it is because the characters, like the people that she meets and like keeps with her are incredible. Like if you're a really character-driven person when you read, or like look for that in books, I would highly recommend this book. They made me smile and laugh, and I genuinely wanted to be friends with some people that she meets, and I just think it was so cute. I love this book. So random, came out of nowhere, but pick it up, y'all. I wish I had this when I was 16 because it just makes you feel not so alone. It's just April trying to get her life together, and it's really cute. I liked it a lot. Something strange happened in July. I was really into ships sinking. So I read 2 of them. Was it smart to read them so close back to back? No, because I do get them confused. One of them is Dead Wake by Erik Larson. This follows the sinking of the Lusitania, which is pretty well known, but he did such a great job with like the research that went into this. This is nonfiction, and we go into like a lot of the different people on the ship. We go into the officer who launched the torpedo to sink it. We go into the captain's life. We go into the actual ship sinking and the aftermath. Like it is, if you ever want to learn about the Lusitania, just read this book because it will give you all the information you need to know. However, it did not read like nonfiction at all. Like it literally read like a movie. It was incredible, really fast paced and just really exciting, but also tragic because it's a ship sinking. And then Salt of the Sea by Rita Sepetys. This is historical fiction, so it follows the real life sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff. I can't say it normally, I have to say it like that. This is a lot lesser known. It happened towards the very end of World War II, and I think like 9,000 people died when this ship, and it was like mostly like refugees, like women and children, but we follow like 4 people's lives and how they intertwine on the ship. And it's really sad, like really, really, really sad, but really good. Would recommend both of these. What a random time in life to read them, but I was just feeling it, so. I have 2 more books I wanted to talk about. I just feel like, you know, chatting. I'm in a chatty mood. So, unfortunately, I did read a book I was kind of disappointed with. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I was so excited for this. Like, it's some people's like favorite romance, and I trust those people, and so I thought that I would love this. But I think I just read it in a weird state of mind because when I would sit down to actually read this book, like I could not sit there and focus on it. Like my brain was just everywhere else but immersed in the story. And I mean, I think that's my fault. You know, I gave this book 3 stars. I think it was still a good romance, but it just didn't quite do it for me like other romances I've read. I think I've just read so many great romances that if it's not great, then I'm disappointed, which is kind of my fault. But this is like a enemies to lovers, like a workplace romance with Lucy and Joshua, and you know, they've been hating each other for a really long time, and finally something changes one day and we see it evolve. I just feel like it was really slow, like really slow, and I felt like it was kind of repetitive, and I just couldn't be there with them. I was just so outside of the story that it was hard for me to really grasp it. And I'm really sad about it because I know it's some people's favorite, but it just wasn't there. I just didn't have that connection, okay? I'm really sorry. I will be seeing the movie because I think the movie will be good. And like there were some scenes that were great, but overall it was just like a middle of the road kind of romance for me. But I thought I would talk about it and mention it because I did read it recently. And the last book that I wanted to chat with you guys about is Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte McGonaghy. I have this weird thing about me where I'm obsessed with wolves. Wolves are my personality trait, my one and only personality trait. I worked at a wolf center in Colorado and like got to pet them and have them kiss me and scratch their bellies and stuff, and like I was a tour guide, so I know a lot about wolves, okay? And it like changed the outcome of my life, or like the path that I'm following. Like I'm literally going back to school because of wolves. Like I want to get my PhD and like teach people about wolves. That's all I want to do, right? They're very misunderstood creatures. Don't get me started. If you don't care about wolves, you can exit out of this video and it won't hurt my feelings. I'm gonna try and not talk that long about this book. But anyways, this follows Inti, our main character. She's PhD in wolves, pretty much, and she is reintroducing them to the Highlands of Scotland. So very atmospheric read, really brings you there. I would have loved to read this in like October, November kind of vibes, maybe January. And she goes there with her twin sister Aggie and is hoping that this new change of scenery will kind of help her sister Aggie. Aggie went through something really, really tragic and hasn't been the same, and it's kind of a mystery the whole time. Anyways, they go there. Of course, the people in this town are really against wolves being brought because they're scared for their livestock and stuff. And so we see her passions come alive. We have romance. We have a farmer that ends up dead. And of course, everyone wants to blame wolves, but you follow that as it goes. Did I say romance? I think I did. We have the connection that Inti has with the woods and the wild is so beautifully written. This book was a wild ride. I sobbed. I have not sobbed since Bridge of Clay. I've only cried for 2 books this year, which is a record. Usually I sob a lot more, but definitely ugly cried with this book. I think I'm just very niche. I think that this book was just literally written for me. The way that I connected to this story was unreal. I don't know if everyone's gonna have the connection because I don't know if anyone is weirdly obsessed with wolves like I am. But 5 out of 5 read. If you can get your hands on this, please do. It's so atmospheric and beautiful and dark and mysterious, and there's a lot of drama and a lot of heart in this story. And I think it's so good. So that's all I wanted to chat about today. I hope you guys are doing well. I am just really excited for this change in my life. I really was in a rut for a while, not gonna lie, but things are changing. So I need new books, y'all. If you have any recommendations, please let me know what you guys have been reading, what you've been loving, books that I need to pick up and read, because I only have like 10 books left on my TBR here. Like I only have a few books, so. Oh my god, I can't get over how beautiful this bookshelf is. I keep looking at it and I'm like, wow, I really did something here, y'all. Really did something. Our ZZ plant is flourishing in this house. Look at her. She has so many new sprouts. That's all I have to say. I'm so glad to be back and to be chatting with you guys. I missed you and I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of random. I just wanted to like chat about some of these books, like put them out into the world, or else I'll never get to talk about them. And I think that they deserved some airtime, so here they are. Anyways, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.